All right, welcome into week 9 of Tribune Sports Live. Johnny, as always, we had bounce back games, we had nail biters, we had a few blowouts. I hate to say it, you had another heartbreak.
Another heartbreak, yep.
We had a lot of football, a lot of games that actually meant something.
Yeah.
We're starting to get to the point in the season where the rubber meets the road at this point.
Oh, yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, so, all right, so let's talk about our fan poll.
Let's do it.
And as always, Johnny and I, we get the privilege, the opportunity. We will name the Ortho Alabama Player of the Week, but you guys get to put your voice into it. And so this week, and as always, Abide Roofing sponsors the Tribune Sports Live fan poll. And for this week, the Offensive Player of the Week was Jakari Swain of Leeds.
Yep.
And it was a double for Leeds. Hey, listen, you guys with the other schools, you really need to step it up. Leeds really shined this week.
They did.
Defense, James Langford. So congratulations to those two. They're the Tribune Sports Live fan poll, offensive and defensive players of the week. So good slate here, Johnny, this week.
Absolutely.
Offensive side of the ball, you've got Zach Benedict of Hewitt, Kevin James of Moody, and Aaron Fry, who you'll hear from a little bit later. He is the third choice on the offensive side of things. On the defensive side of the ball, you had Barack Willis, Emilien Burt of Leeds, Woogie Crawford, who will be in studio a little bit later, and Isaiah Brown of Clay Chalkville. Seems like we always have these Clay Chalkville linebackers.
I know.
They're interchangeable. You can bring them up here, plug them in.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys.
We're going to have to start charging a lot of Clay Chalkville kids rent.
Absolutely. They're up here a lot.
They are.
So just a reminder, as always, the poll is active. It goes until 5 o'clock on Thursday. Provided we're not out of town, I'm in Chicago like I was last week, we'll get those results up pretty quickly. So listen, make your voice heard. Leeds shined last week.
They did.
Your turn to do it. So, all right, Johnny, what you got?
This week, I guess my little snippet, I was made aware this past week that we have at least 2 cheerleading squads going to nationals this year. So Pinson High School cheerleaders and the Moody High School cheerleaders are going to nationals. I believe that's in the next week or two. May have a little more information coming out on that, but I was made aware of it on Friday night. So congratulations to those guys. And if there's anybody in our coverage area, if your team didn't make it or did make it and we didn't mention, we apologize. We just haven't been made aware. But congratulations to those guys.
Absolutely. All right, so let's take a quick break. And Johnny, we're going to change it up a little bit.
We are.
When we come back, we're not going to talk football. We're actually going to talk cross country.
Yes, we are.
What do you think about that?
I think that's cool. I think I'm going to let you talk it.
All right. We'll be right back.
It's Friday night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Dobbsford is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Dobbsford is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbsford,
we're proud to support our local teams.
and our local families.
So come see us.
All right, welcome back in. All right, we have someone that is no stranger to the Bodines Classic Cut and Color Coaches Corner. Head coach, cross country, Matthew Michalke of Hewitt. Welcome in, Coach.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me back.
All right. Well, Johnny, as always, Coach's Corner is sponsored by Bodines. And let's talk about the beard. What you got going on here?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm going to the beach this week, so I waited it out a little while. I will be at Bodines with Miss Tina tomorrow night, getting the beard trimmed. So it's a little rough right now, but we're getting there. We'll get it taken care of tomorrow.
All right, and I always screw this up, Johnny. We've got one location here in Trussville.
Yeah.
And one out in Hoover where I am, right?
That's it. That's exactly right.
All right, Coach. Well, you are having a fantastic year so far. Talk a little bit about how your guys and your girls are performing, and then I'll get into some of the numbers. But
yeah,
just
absolutely.
tell me how the season's going.
Yeah, it's been a great year. You know, we came into the season with high expectations, finished last season well. Girls top 5 last year, boys top 3, and returned everybody. So expectations this year for both teams to build on that and improve. And so far that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So have done well. We're getting close to the end of the regular season. That's this week.
Yeah.
And then we'll shift our focus to postseason.
Yeah. Well, starting the season off, I think it was maybe your second meet of the year. You guys had the opportunity to go up to North Carolina and face off with some of the better teams in the Southeast. Talk about what that was like to expose your runners to that level of competition.
Yeah. So a few years ago, we, just as a coaching staff, decided if we want to be the best, we want to compete against the best, and that means the best not just in our state, but around the Southeast. And so once a year, we try to take some of our best runners out of state. So we've gone to Georgia. Last year, we took them to Louisville, Kentucky, and so this year we went to Charlotte, North Carolina. We were the top public school there, so competition there were private schools from the East Coast, and that's a little bit of a different animal, but we held our own and had a great experience. I think had an opportunity to bond as a team, getting on the road, going and seeing different competition, but also being really pushed with some great runners.
Yeah. One of the things that, if you're from Birmingham, if you're in Mountain Brook, you see a gaggle of teams or kids running. You're either, okay, this could be a road race, but it's Thursday. It's the Mountain Brook team. They're out training.
Yeah.
See the same thing in Homewood. Over the years, and Trussville has a good history going back to Coach Dobbs, but it seems like in numbers, your program just continues to grow. And I know that one of the things y'all do, the big Husky Challenge that you guys have, talk about what that means to the community. I mean, it's such a great course for folks to be able to come out. You're able to watch the folks, the runners go by a few times. And I think we talked about this before. Just being able to finish in the stadium is one of the coolest finishes for runners. So talk about that.
Yeah, I think the sport has definitely, it's gained interest since I've been here. And that's going back over the last 15 years. I think we see more kids being exposed to the sport early, which has helped us. Programs that have existed in the past, like Tracksters and then Trussville Parks and Rec, those have helped expose kids to cross country and track and field. And then definitely, for our home meet, we've had opportunities the past 2 years to not just at the home meet, but also we do a time trial to close out our summer. We've invited the community out for that, and we try to treat it like a race day, even though it's just us. And so, I think our kids, they enjoy that exposure. They've thrived off that. I think we've been able to generate interest in the community. And I know I talk to a lot of people that say, hey, we do see 30, 40, 50 kids out running, down through the Greenway area. So that's great. I feel like we're gaining momentum, and maybe in another 5-10 years we'll think about Trussville the same way we do with Mountain Brook and Homewood. And a lot of that goes to the city as well, and the things that they've done to increase areas for foot traffic. That's helped us. Yeah.
So do you feel like you know that it's grown at Trussville? Do you feel like it's growing? We see flag football now becoming a big thing. I feel like we see more cross country as well, and maybe it's because I'm in it with this guy covering a lot of cross country and seeing it more. But do you feel like the sport as a whole is
the sport has grown for sure, and also you can look at the numbers at the high school level, but beyond collegiate, and then even the Team USA. You look at the numbers in terms of what people are running, and over the last decade. I think the sport has risen as those numbers have risen.
Yeah. And times have dropped as those numbers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're getting faster, as a sport, and that makes it more exciting, and more eyeballs are on it when you're running fast and putting down these exciting times.
Yeah. And you guys have begun building a pretty good pipeline to college teams. You've got a number of kids that are running Division II level. I can't remember off the top of my head if you've got D1.
Yeah.
But there are a number, and it's such a great sport. We love football, but I'm such a big fan of cross country because it's really the only sport where you get such integration of girls and guys together. Of course, they're competing in different classes, but or not classes, but divisions. But you have the camaraderie that comes from being on a team bus, taking those trips together, and I think it just really mirrors what work life looks like. And so I'm a big proponent of it. But So let's talk about, you've got a couple of seniors that you brought
Yeah.
in. You have Natalie Wiram and you have Gabe Knox. And Natalie, she just PR'd. She had her best time ever in a 5K. I think you did it at the Do It on the Trails, 18:47. It's a pretty fast time. To give you guys an idea what that means is that they're running, Natalie ran about 6 minutes per mile for 3.1 miles. So go try it. See how that turns out for you. So Natalie, welcome in. Glad to have you. So talk a little bit about what you've run for a while. I think as I understand it, you're maybe the last legacy Husky that has a connection to Coach Dobbs. You ran for him maybe when you were really, really young. Is that true?
Yes, I've been running for the past 6 years, and then I got pulled up whenever I was in 7th grade to run for the high school team whenever the Dobbs were still the coaches.
Nice. Well, talk about, your 4 years, and well, you're really 6 years, but just your experience as a runner for Hewitt.
Well, I've had a lot of fun running for Hewitt, and it's just been a great experience. Those are all my best friends, and I love all the people. And it's just fun to have something to do and run every day, and it's just a big part of my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Coach, the girls in 7A, they are ranked number 1 at this point when you're looking at average times. And I'm just going to throw this out there. The average for the team is 18:51. And I'll just name because it is such a team sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know Natalie is representing the ladies tonight, but you've got Hadley Turner, Mary Durham, Lee Anderson, Evelyn Robertson, Bella Acock, and Lily Armstrong. And these girls are averaging 18:51, which is top in 7A. And I failed to mention, Natalie, I think that you are the 8th fastest runner right now in 7A. So you've put together a really, really nice season so far. So congratulations on that. All right, so you brought in Gabe Knox. And Gabe, looks like your PR is a 15:57. And there again, guys, to put that in perspective, that's about 5:11 a mile for 3.1 miles, and that's moving. The guys are ranked 3rd in 7A with an average time of 16:07. Gabe, I shorted you a little bit. Your time would have been a little faster than 5:11 per mile. But same question like I had for Natalie. Talk about your experience running, for Coach Michalke, and just your experience being a Husky for the last few years.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a big help for me because, like she said, gives you a group of people who you can be around who, help you try and be better. But I feel like under Coach Michalke, I've, driven to always be better. And, I had a big jump sophomore to junior year, so.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm going to name some of your teammates. Lane Walker, John Paul Amari, Noah Jordan, James Watson, Maddox Turner, and Leland Neal. And as I mentioned, those guys are 3rd fastest in 7A. Well, Coach, talk about these two right here. Talk about what they have meant to your program, because you had a choice to be able to bring a lot of folks. And if it were up to us and we had space, we would have brought everybody.
Yeah.
But we limited you a little bit. But just talk about these two.
Well, both of these have been, as you kind of spoke to, they've been committed parts of this program for years. Both of them going back to middle school, and they're leaders now as seniors. Gabe talked about how I think he's a great story because this is not always a sport where you shine day one, and Gabe necessarily wasn't the star of the team day one, but I am so proud of his accomplishments over the course of years, and he just kept showing up, kept putting in the work. He was a guy that I think really he earned the trust and respect of his teammates first, and then really started to shine out on the course. And so he's done that the last 2 years. He's without a doubt one of our main leaders in how he's running, but also just in how he interacts with the team, leads the team, sets expectations for the younger guys. And so we're just so proud of him and thankful for what he's meant to the team. Natalie as well. I mean, I still think of Natalie as 4'2" 7th grader coming out for the first time. Natalie, I think, has been the model of consistency over the past 6 years. You have been consistently one of our best runners, year in and year out. She's continued to progress and improve, but she's always been at the top. And going back to a couple of years ago, our girls team had the best team in school history, second place runner-up team, and she was a big part of that team. And we look this year to maybe even surpass that. And again, she's a big part of that team and a part of the reason why we're there.
Yeah. So next meet, tell me what that is.
Yeah, so we close out the regular season this Thursday, Open Oakville, which is where we have the state championship meet at. Yep. So closing out the regular season for us is really, for these two and some of our top runners, it's just kind of a tune-up race. Yeah. Just getting ready to go into the postseason. Getting ready for sectionals, which we'll host next week on the 30th here at home. And really kind of this week kind of solidifies who are our final spots. We get to take 10. You run 10 at sectionals and at state. And so, some of those final spots are undecided. And so we have a few that are still fighting for a spot. Yeah. We're starting to focus our attention ahead to November.
Yeah. Well, for you two, being seniors, can you believe that your running career is about to wrap up as a Husky?
For me, I mean, it's weird to think of, but been running so long, about ready for the next step. But I mean, it is quite weird, leave all your old teammates behind and, move on to the next step. But
It's just very different. My mom likes to make collages of whenever I first started running. It's her favorite thing to do because she thinks it's so different. And she likes to see how everybody compares to me, how they used to. And it's just interesting to see how times and people have changed over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Absolutely. Well, you guys do a great job representing Hewitt and the running community. Y'all do a great job. And I would say this for all of our teams. A lot of our teams, or our schools that we cover, have cross-country teams. It's a great way to go out. You can usually go out on a Saturday morning. Sectionals usually, that depends, but it's during the week. You may not be able to take it Thursdays. But it's a great opportunity. You're able to get up to the runners a lot closer than you are on the football field. So, and it really is, I'm sure you guys would say, it really is. Now, you don't always want to hear it when you're hurting and you're trying to get to the finish, but there is a lot of momentum and energy you can get from crowds just cheering for you. So I would ask all you guys to go out and support the team. It's a great way to do it. And Coach, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Whether it's a sports injury, life injury, or debilitating pain, soon you will be able to get the care you need when you need it at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. No more lengthy and costly ER visits or forgoing treatment and suffering until a physician can see you. This spring, you will be able to make an appointment or just walk in to our new location at the Pinnacle in Trussville and get back to living life sooner. Until then, you can always visit our Hoover location. To learn more, visit bettersooner.com or call 205-352-2911. We can't wait to take care of you.
Welcome back in. Okay, Johnny, let's talk about Pinson at Pell City.
Yeah.
This was a huge region game. You've got two programs that are on the upswing. Everything was to play for a playoff spot, and it was heartbreak for you and the Indians 2 weeks in a row. Talk about this game. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing highlights, and as always, this segment is brought to you by New Day Car. Text
text day to 41136.
That's it. All right, Johnny, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, another heartbreaker for Pinson. The Indians had the playoffs on the line, had to win. Pell City also had to win for that final playoff spot in 6A, Region 6, I believe it is. Pinson came out 3 plays on offense, and they scored 2 touchdowns on those 3 plays. In between that was Pell City scoring a touchdown to make it. It was 14-7 middle of the first quarter. Later in the second quarter, or the first play of the second quarter, Pell City tied it up at 14 to go in at the half. Pell City went up 21-14 in the third, but on the very next drive, Pinson answered. We had a R.J. Addison, beautiful catch in the back of the end zone by R.J. Addison from Derico Freeman. Derico Freeman threw the first touchdown. I forgot to mention his first touchdown to T.J. Calhoun for 60 yards. Simeon Connor's backup, Zion Moffitt, punched in the first one after a big 65-yarder to Christian Thomas. So, late in the fourth quarter, it was a dogfight. They went back and forth a little bit. Pell City blocked a field goal, got the ball like they were driving. They went down, couldn't capitalize. Pinson got the ball back. About 2 minutes on the clock. Derico Freeman throws an interception. The Pell City guys got in there, kicked a field goal with 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah, that's tough.
And very, very tough loss for Pinson. I think this is going to be a season of what might have been. Oxford, Mountain Brook, and Pell City were all games that Pinson really should have won.
Yeah.
But Coach Thompson has talked more than once about knowing how to win and knowing how to finish.
Yeah.
And that's something that has to bleed into the culture.
Yeah.
The sad thing is a lot of these kids are seniors.
Yeah.
Every one of the kids I just mentioned a second ago, defensive players like Sidney Woods, Caden Edwards, Clarence Dates, those guys, seniors, all of them are, they got 2 more games left this year.
Yeah.
But a 3-5, sitting at 3-5 should really be 6-2.
Yeah.
And that's going to be something that's going to stick in their crawl a little bit, but you hope and pray that helps them grow. They learn from it. I feel like we learn a lot from our mistakes and from our failures, and going from 1-9 to potentially 3-7 this year, maybe better if they can squeeze out a win. The next 2 games are really tough. They got Clay Chalkville and at Hueytown. So, Pinson, again, what might have been this year could have been a 6 or 7 win season. Going to wind up being about 3 wins this year. But, it's growth, it's building. Coach Thompson's doing it the right way there at Pinson. I love what he's doing. I love what he's building there. It was a tough night for him, though. A lot of emotion, just like last week. So.
Yeah, that's tough having those 2 back-to-back heartbreakers. And you mentioned the seniors. You hope these seniors take away the knowledge that they were the building block for the future, and they can hang their hat on that. So, but like you said, it doesn't get any easier. They take on the Cougars next week. So, all right. So let's move on. Let's talk about Centerpoint and Leeds. Centerpoint highlights are brought to you by me, Tara Linda, and Leeds segment is also brought to you by New Day. Text day to 41136. Little bit of a low-scoring game. I would have expected a little bit higher. Leeds makes the trip out to Centerpoint, and they come away with a 21-7 win.
Yeah.
Centerpoint showed a lot of fight early. They got on the board early, and then it looks like it was just a defensive affair. I don't know what went into it, with everything going on. But 21-7, Leeds gets the win.
Yeah, I mean Damon Canty was the big highlight of the game for the Eagles. He had I think it was a 60+ yard touchdown run late in the game, maybe 70 yards. I can't remember. But they went toe to toe with Leeds, and Leeds is one of the big boys. Leeds had a really emotional game the previous week, so maybe that caused a little bit of a drop off. But you still had your same guys, Gavin Howard, Taylor Gator, touching the ball and getting scores. The defense allowed 69 points from Centerpoint. 69 yards. I'm sorry, I said 69 points. 69 yards from Centerpoint, and 70 or 60 plus came on the one play. So a lot of negative plays there on defense. 330 yards on offense. Coach King was proud of the fight and his guys at Centerpoint. It's something to build on for the future. And Centerpoint and Springville are about to square off in this coming week. And what should be a pretty good game, you know, guys that are struggling a little bit, but and first-year coaches. So, you know, no playoffs, no region seeding for them, but there's some pride on the line, and they're still fighting clearly after what they did with Leeds. But, you know, being Leeds, they pulled it out. They won the game 21-7, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, it looks like just as we see the highlights there, it looks like Millie, he was having all his creativity coming out. So it looks like they were working on some things. And the young wide receivers, they were putting on a show. And look, we even saw Tylen Moultrie get his last touchdown.
Yeah, I was just about to say that guy got the touchdown.
And we're always big fans. Anytime anyone with the number 99 gets in the end zone on the offensive side of the board, we like that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, all right, so let's talk about Moody. And the Moody segment is brought to you, as always, by W.C. Wright. They're here. They're there for you for your heating, cooling, plumbing, and generator needs. Locally owned and operated for 79 years, Johnny.
That's right.
So give them a call. They'll show you the right way to do it. So, also, we've got Springville highlights. The Springville segment is brought to you by CSG Floors and Outdoors over in Odenville. Give Corey and Tiffany a call at 903-5885. So, Johnny, taking a look at the highlights, Moody scored early, and they scored often.
They did.
And that machine is powering on.
That machine is powering on, and that machine is dynamic. There were, I think, 5 or 6 guys that scored touchdowns on Friday. We've talked about the struggles with Springville's defense all year.
Yeah.
It really shined bright in this game against a powerful team like Moody. We saw Aubrey Walker, Cameron Meadows, Kevin James, Elijah Rutledge, Aiden Chipmunk White, that's Squirrel White's little brother, scoring touchdowns for him, 430 yards of offense at halftime. One thing I do want to make sure I mention is it's in our article that Henry Williamson wrote. They scored late. Trig Murdoch from Brennan Archer to Trig Murdoch got him down in scoring position. Brennan finished it off. That's kind of the 1-2 punch we get for 2 more years. But the thing I want to kind of bring up is a referee came over to Coach Metcalf at the end of the game and said, you know, I see a lot of guys get blown out and get beaten this badly, and they hang their heads and they kind of quit. But your team didn't do that. So, you know, there's something there. There's, again, kind of like we've talked about James Thompson, Jermel King over at Center Point. They're building something there. There's a good foundation there. They've got, the difference in them and Pinson is they've got a lot of young kids at Springville who are going to continue to contribute. And so that's not going away. But Moody, like you said, that's just a machine that keeps on going. They're just Moody. They've been a little bit Jekyll and Hyde at times this year. When you're breaking in a new quarterback, it's a little bit tough, especially someone who's new to the school, new to the system. So it's taken him some time, but he's shown us that he can do what it takes. He's got a lot of really good weapons.
Got a lot of weapons around.
Yeah, you know. Elijah Rutledge, Josiah Dozier, Aubrey Walker, Chipmunk White. That's not a bad cast of receivers to throw. You know, they've locked in a playoff spot, the first seed out of their region. You know, and I'm speaking way down the road, but you could get another Leeds Moody game out of this thing. It happened last year, and so you know. Moody's just Moodying, as we like to say. You know, they've scored a bunch. You know, other than 2 games. I think you had a statistic earlier.
I think it's interesting when you take out the 2 losses to the 2 7A schools. Moody is averaging 42 points a game, and they're only giving up 12 points a game.
Right.
And I think all of that, the prolific offense, the stingy, brutal defense, and that's for last year too. I mean, you take last year, this year, that has led to back-to-back region championships. That's 2 region championships, which is only the 5th. I mean, think about it. They only had 3 region championships in their history before their last 2, and they've added 2 to it. So.
And they tied the year before that. There was a 3-way tie with them.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe it was Southside Gadsden and Leeds that year.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
all 3 tied. So
could have been 3.
Could have been 3.
Could have been a 3-peat. So, yeah, they are definitely rolling. So, all right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Whether it's a sports injury, life injury, or debilitating pain, Soon you will be able to get the care you need when you need it at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. No more lengthy and costly ER visits or foregoing treatment and suffering until a physician can see you. This spring, you will be able to make an appointment or just walk in to our new location at the Pinnacle in Trussville and get back to living life sooner. Until then, you can always visit our Hoover location. To learn more, visit bettersooner.com or call 205-352-2911. We can't wait to take care of you.
All right, welcome back in. All right, Johnny, let's talk about one of the most fun parts of the show. Let's talk about Team of the Week. Let's talk about Player of the Week. But let's talk about Clay first.
Yeah.
That's a pretty huge game for Clay, and Clay's segment is brought to you by New Day Car Wash. Text data 41136. So, Clay defeated Oxford 40-16 in a game that avenged. Now, this is pretty interesting right here. Out of the previous 28 region games, Clay had only lost one game, and that was last year to Oxford.
Yeah.
Well, they avenged that.
By a little bit.
And with that win, Clay now has won, they have won the region 4 out of the last 5 years. And we're going to hear from Aaron Fry, who's here, because Clay's performance over Oxford in clinching the region championship gave them the Team of the Week honor. And Aaron is here to speak for Clay. You know, they are a prolific offense right now. If you look at where they are statistically, they're averaging 48 points a game.
Yeah.
They're only giving up 9 points a game. So when you go back and look historically, 2014, that's a state championship. They averaged 48 points a game. 2015, they made it to the state championship game, came up a little bit short, averaged 48 points a game. 2021, averaged 48 points a game, another state championship. This year, they're averaging right at that 47.5. So they're right on the cusp,
They're in the
Johnny.
sweet spot.
Yeah, we're seeing something that you just don't see historically, Johnny.
Right, yeah. Clay Chaltville's just, we keep saying the same term, a machine. We give out this weekly award every week, and I think every week this season, it's come down to either Clay Chaltville winning it or it was Clay Chaltville or somebody else. And a lot of times maybe we gave it to somebody else just to give it to somebody other than Clay. But, man, you know, their team of the week, well deserved. They're just top to bottom. They're good. You know, when the backups come in, you don't see a huge drop off like you do at a lot of teams. Defense dominated. We talked about Fry. You know, it's fitting that he was one of the ones that come up here to represent the Team of the week. This guy went for 333 total yards and 4 touchdowns. 16 of 21 passing, 229, and a touchdown to go with 9 runs for 104 yards and 3 touchdowns. Very impressive showing by that guy. Isaiah Brown was a defensive leader with 12 tackles, 4 for a loss, and 4 quarterback hurries. But you just can't say enough about Clay this year. They just look, and Coach Floyd may get mad at me for saying this with a player within earshot, but they look unstoppable. Yeah, they really do. And I've said to other people, you know, the only team that's going to stop them, if anybody does, would be them themselves. I don't think anybody else has got anything for them, honestly.
Yeah. And I think what's so interesting about the offense, and they're so fun to watch, is that they can beat you, they can grind it out. Joshua Woods, he'll just grind it out on you. They can stretch the field on you with Fry going to Barber or Fry going to Johnson. I mean, you know, you pick your poison with them, and then, as you mentioned, the defense is just tough. So, yeah, they're very deserving, and they are our Team of the Week once again. And so let's move, because we're going to show the guys at the same time. But let's go ahead and talk about Trussville. And the Trussville segment is brought to you by A-Plus Tire and Auto. Go head over there, family owned and operated, Johnny. Get the truck or the Honda over there.
That's right, one of the two.
So I had the pleasure of being on site down at Oak Mountain for Hewitt's 36-21 win over Oak Mountain. Zach Benedict got the start. He was very efficient. He showed good touch on the ball. He actually ran the ball a good bit. They showed good balance. I mean, Deuce Austin, he's pounding. James Kelly, you get him out on the corner, get him on the edge, he's going to see things happen. C.J. Davis, Dylan Cope came up with some big plays. So offensively, they were very good. I was super impressed with the defense and the guy that we're going to talk to, and we'll go ahead and make the announcement. Woogie Crawford, he is our Trussville Tribune Ortho Alabama Spine and Sports Player of the Week. That's a mouthful.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, so it was well-deserved. And he had one of the most spectacular plays of the game, and I think we've already seen it. But he had a great interception where he deflected the ball, dove over one of his teammates, made a one-handed catch, had the presence of mind to keep the ball up so the official could see that he did actually have possession of it. So it was a fantastic. I think he had 3 sacks. He was all over the field. The defense was all over the field, and they really played well. When you talk about Hewitt, and it was a big game to get the 2 consecutive losses off of their back. Coach Floyd talked about that they've had a lot of injuries, and they're playing a lot of guys right now that they probably would not have expected or really wanted to play, but they've been pressed into action. So I think it was a good bounce-back win for them. And then senior night, big night out at Husky Stadium. Tuscaloosa County comes in. Tuscaloosa County's, they've had a tough year. They're winless. They're giving up about 55 points a game. So Husky fast might be really fast. I know Coach Floyd doesn't want us to say that because he wants the guys focused in and locked in. But I think this is just going to be a really good game because then they get an off week and then they're able to head into the playoffs. It looks like they've sewn up second place, and so they should be able to host. And so that's kind of where we are with Hewitt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just, kind of getting that win back. Coach Floyd I'm sure he had hoped that they would bounce back a week earlier, but he did say 2 weeks ago they've got to bounce back. They've got too much talent. They've got too much, we talk about Clay Chalkville. If they're behind Clay Chalkville, they're just a fragment behind Clay Chalkville when they're playing at their best. And, that's what we want to see out of the playoffs. We want to see those first few games come back the way the Huskies were playing then, and I have no doubt that we will. I think we got a nice glimpse of it on Friday night. And we'll get an even better one this coming Friday night heading into the playoffs. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, let's bring our guys in. Our 2 representatives, Aaron Fry representing Clay Chalkville, which is the Trussville Tribune Sports Live Team of the Week, and Woogie Crawford. He is the Ortho Alabama Spine and Sports Player of the Week. Congratulations, guys. And thanks for coming in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Aaron, talk about your game. Man, it was a bounce-back game from last year against Oxford. So just talk about your game. You had a monster game. Just talk about the entire night.
Yes, sir. So, it was a different mindset for this game, knowing that we lost last year. So we just carried from last year all the way into this year, holding a grudge and playing dominant. And so I feel like that's what we did. I feel like we dominated the game all 4 quarters, and that was the outcome.
Yeah. Aaron, you got the region championship. That's goal 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about how it feels to be a region champion as the starter.
Yeah, so, it feels good. It's a tradition at Clay. It's the standard at Clay to always win the region. So, me losing it last year hurt. So, me bouncing back this year was mandatory. And so, I feel like that really, got that off my conscience.
Yeah. Johnny has talked a lot about watching the Moxie Media 4th and 5, the series, where it talks about the coaches and they're really getting into it. It looks like they're pretty intense on you guys during the week.
Yes, I feel like most of the time the practices are harder than the games. They throw a bunch of different situations at you, so anything that does pop up in the game, you're prepared for it.
All right, good deal. All right, Woogie, let's talk about your game. Big game. You were all over the field, and I just talked about, and the folks saw, the great interception that you made. And I interviewed you after the game and asked about if that was something you had really focused on really kind of trying to erase the last 2 weeks with the intensity. Talk about the mindset going into that game.
I mean, yeah, like I said, you know, once you lose 2 games, you know, back to back, you kind of looking for answers at that point. And we went to practice, you know, like he said, we had holding a grudge. You know, we had to like find answers and get back on that standard that we is about winning games. You know, we had one goal. You know, at first was win the region, which we came up a little short. But you know, the game last Friday we really needed that game to get back on the road heading into Tuscaloosa County next week.
Woogie, take us through your interception. You did it for me personally here just a little while ago, but I want you to kind of paint the picture for the folks out there watching.
So, I mean, we had like a little all-out blitz, and I came off the edge, and my first plan was just to take his top of his shoulder because I thought it was like a draw mainly. That's what I thought it was. But then I seen the lineman release. I was like, oh man, I got to go now. Like I can't get stuck in between. So then he caught back. He threw it. I didn't think he was gonna throw it because I was like right in his face. I jumped up. I tried to catch it. I'm still working on my hands right now, so I kind of bobbled it. I tilted up, and I noticed I can make this play. So I dived over my teammate, tripped over his foot, stuck my hands out there, and made a play.
Are you going to try to get any time at wide receiver with Dylan Cope out there?
Yeah, I got to, because I got to work on my hands a little better, but had to make a play.
You know, we talked a little bit about, and we've talked a good bit during the course of the year, that the region you guys play in, just like Clay in the 6A region that they're in, you know, it's a very tough region. So you see a lot of good competition. And even though Oak Mountain's record may not have been what they wanted it to be, you talked about they were a young team. And just from my perspective of standing on the sideline, they seem to have really good team speed and really good skill position guys. Talk about, you know, what it's like competing against those guys that just have a tremendous amount of speed.
Yeah.
And they get you out in space, they can really make you look bad.
Yeah, like you got to give credit to Oak Mountain coaches. They coach very well, very disciplined. So like, man, like I said, they're a young team. The quarterback just a sophomore. They got a 4-star over there. He's a junior. So like, they got a lot of potential, man. And they making plays that, you know, you really wouldn't average see that you know of Oak Mountain. You know, like, so we came out there. We knew it was gonna be a little struggle. We knew it was gonna be a little grind. We knew we were gonna get handed to us. So Coach Floyd, he was telling us, man, we got to come out strong. And we came out a little flat, but you know, after I made a play, I feel like that changed the momentum of the game. And after that, we had to keep going up from there.
Yeah.
Want to ask you both, you guys both, and this may be a no-no. I know it's going to be a no-no for your coaches, but they're not here, so we're gonna break the rules a little bit. You guys both have a game this coming Friday, a game you should win, both of you. And I hate to say that because I love Pinson, but I also, you know, I love Clay. But thankfully, y'all aren't playing anybody in our coverage area, but so we don't have to get heartbroken again. But talk about getting your guys up. Both of you, you're a leader on defense. You're the leader on offense. Talk about getting your guys up for a game like this, a game that you probably should win on paper. I heard Coach talk about other teams in the 4th and 6th thing. You know, they're not as good as you. That's going to be the case this week. Talk about getting up for a game like that. And start with Aaron.
Yeah, so I feel like this team, well, I would say this team doesn't have a lot of problems with, like, getting up for games and stuff. There's a lot of games that I feel like people knew we should have won, that we did win, but like we all got up for that game, and so this game is no different. I feel like Pinson is a lot better than their record shows. They've lost every game, well, 6A game, by like 3 points or less. So they're a lot better than their record shows, and so we're not gonna take them lightly. We're gonna treat them like any other team and do us.
Like one thing, my position coach said, Coach Elway, he was saying like, man, you know, everybody expect, you know, yeah, you to win this game, you to win this game. Like Prattville, you know, after we lost to Thompson, everybody like, okay, yeah, it's Prattville, y'all gonna win that game. But like, man, in our region, it's everybody we got every team got good coaches. Like, it's not just no players a problem. It's like that one little thing. Like Tuscaloosa County, they run a whole different offense now, new coaching staff. So like, it's we prepared. You know, we've been working pretty hard today. Had a good day of practice. You know, more of a mental day, like to tire our bodies out, but. I mean, I feel like we get the job done. Hopefully, we know we got to win this game because we not in the playoffs yet. Like, to be honest, right now we not in the playoffs. So we win this game. We lock up the 2 seed and maybe host first round and potential second round.
Yeah,
good second.
Yeah, absolutely. So Woogie, yeah, senior night for you guys coming up. Aaron, is this senior night for you guys as well? coming up. So senior night for both of you guys. Number one, can you believe that your career has gone by that quick as it has, that quickly? And just talk about what it's going to be like to go out into Husky Stadium and to go out into Cougar Stadium and close your career out on senior night.
For me, it's going to be crazy. I've been playing at that same field since I was first started playing football, so it's going to be, a surreal feeling out there on the field for my last regular season game ever on that field. So, yeah, it's going to feel emotional, but, I'm there to win.
But you're looking for more games. That's just the regular season game.
It's crazy. Kind of obviously I got there around sometime in freshman year. It flew, like you said, it flew by. Just feel like just a couple of days ago we was getting ready for the first game, and now we at the last game. Hopefully we can get this win and maybe host multiple home games. But it's surreal. It's a surreal feeling, man. Like you said, emotional. It's definitely gonna be able to. But I don't think it's really gonna hit me until maybe later on that night. But I'm ready for it though, man.
After you get another one-handed interception.
I'm gonna try. This time I'm trying to take it to the crib, man. Not fall.
Well, Johnny, I like the look of this. These are our two hometown teams.
I know.
We love all of our teams.
Right.
But these are our two hometown teams right there.
Yeah, two biggest
I
teams.
like the red. I like the blue.
Yeah. Same.
Coaches probably wouldn't like us saying it, but we'd like to see this on the field.
Hey, yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
As an old Cougar, and an old Husky, I went to both, so
that's it.
I'd love to see it myself.
That's it. All right, so we're going to do something different, guys. You get to witness this for the first time. We're doing Bracketology 101 with Colonel Sanders.
Oh, me. All right. So appropriately named, thank you for the Colonel Sanders nod to Barry Ryan, my offensive coordinator in high school at Clay Chalkville, for giving me that name. But yeah, we're going to talk.
And he still remembers that your name.
And still remembers that that's my name, which is crazy to me. I'm the best third-string offensive lineman he's ever coached, I believe. So yeah, 4 of our 8 teams are locked into being in the playoffs. Yep. The 4 that are out, Pinson, Springville, Center Point, Shades Valley, not going to the playoffs this year. Lots of promise, lots of hope there. Moody, Leeds, Clay, and Hewitt are all there. So we're going to start with the 5A bracket. You're going to see that pop up on your screen. We got the 5A bracket up there. So our teams, Moody and Leeds, are kind of in the bottom right hand of that bracket, and both of them are locked in. Moody is locked in to a 1 seed. Leeds locked into the 4 seed out of that region. And I've got potential matchups. Now, when I say potential matchups, our teams are locked in. The opponent is not. Yeah. So Moody is locked into that spot. So the potential matchup for Moody in round 1 looks to be Carver of Birmingham. Okay. That looks to be the matchup there. The matchup for 4th seed Leeds looks to be a trip to Corner High School, which is they're a very good school. Yeah. In between them, you've got a bit of a battle between Jacksonville and St. Clair County for that 2nd and 3rd spot out of that region. Yeah. But yeah, so we've got Moody and Leeds locked in. They're a 1 and a 4 seed out of their region, and Carver Birmingham for Moody and Corner for Leeds is what it looks like. Again, that's not locked in. That's the opponents there are still to be determined. In 6A, we'll look at the 6A bracket. Our lone 6A playoff team will be none other than the Clay Chalkville Cougars. They've locked up their region. They're the number 1 seed there. I believe Oxford has sealed up the 2nd seed, and Mountain Brook and Pell City are 3 and 4 respectively, because that Pell City Pinson game was for that final spot. So Clay on your bracket will. Again, this is potential. They'll look to take on Mortimer Jordan at home in their first hosted game of the playoffs. The Hewitt-Trussville, the 7A bracket, the Hewitt-Trussville region, as we've talked about, a very tough region. It gets kind of weird in their region. Thompson, I believe, is the region champion. Yeah,
they hold the tiebreaker over Hewitt. Holds the tiebreaker. Right. Holds the tiebreaker over Hoover and Vestavia, right. So that should give them a second.
So Hewitt should have the 2nd seed, pending a win Friday night gets that 2nd seed, and if they get that 2nd seed, they're projected to take on Carver of Montgomery. So 2 of our teams have Carver teams, but yeah, I think the 3rd and 4th positions out of that region are up in the air between Hoover, Prattville, and Vestavia. Vestavia plays Hoover, and Prattville plays Thompson. So that'll all iron itself out this Friday, and those guys will be locked in. So congratulations to our teams that have made it to the playoffs, locked in their spots, and we'll see what happens. Everybody wants to get to November, so you know, half of our teams getting in, that's not too bad.
That's not bad, 50%.
Not bad at all.
All right, well, that's bracketology 101 right there. I like it.
There you go.
All right, well, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about our picks. And you have a disclaimer, as always.
I do. Woogie's heard this. I don't know if Aaron has heard this, but if you don't want to pick a game, just say pass. You don't want to pick it, and nobody's going to laugh at you or throw things at you. We understand that, you know, not everybody wants to do that. So if you do, go ahead. If you don't worry about it. We're going to start with Pinson at Clay because it's the Thursday night game. It's a big rivalry game.
Yep.
You know, it's been
Huge rivalry game.
Yeah, I mean, I saw something the other day. They've won 6 of the last 8 or 10 state championships in 6A.
That's a lot.
Between the two teams. They've won 6 of them in the last little bit. I can't remember the period of time, but a lot of championships, a lot of, you know, a lot of history there between these two teams. Both of them share a zip code for their schools, so the 35126 has a lot of talent there. Pinson has a lot of talent, a lot of fight, but it's Clay Chalkville, and I think it's a big Clay Chalkville win on Friday night.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Pinson guys are going to show fight. I mean, they've been disheartened the last couple of weeks, but I think, look, as Coach Stewart Floyd would say, big Clay over everybody.
All blue.
This is a Clay win. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
No comment.
No comment.
All right.
That is a wise quarterback.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, we played Pinson. They got some dogs on their team. Like they got some real good athletes, you know. But man, I seen Clay against Thompson with my own eyes. Man, I'm gonna take Clay in that one.
All right. Next game up is Moody at Lincoln. Everybody knows how I feel about going to Lincoln.
Love the officials.
And the referees at Lincoln,
Love
but even the referees are not going to even be able to keep this game close. Lincoln, I believe, is a 2-6 team right
2-6,
now.
I think.
They're not ready for Moody. On the road, referees, you could double the referee staff crew that night. It don't matter. Moody's going to roll all over.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a big Moody win.
I'm gonna take Moody too.
Okay.
I'm going Moody.
All right. Now this one's an interesting game. Center Point at Springville. Very interesting game. Both teams, new coaches. Both teams kind of struggled this year, building programs there. Springville has shown a lot of consistency on offense. Defense has been the problem. Center Point has shown some explosiveness on offense at times. The big 60-yarder Friday night against Leeds being one of those. They also only got 69 total yards of offense against Leeds. So this is going to be kind of like strength against weakness when the offenses are on the field. But I feel like Springville's going to outshoot them in this one and win by a touchdown or two.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a touchdown game, but I'm going to go the opposite direction of you. And I think the reason I'm going to go that way is because Center Point seems to have such big play ability. They may not be able to sustain a drive, but I think you'll see them maybe pop a couple of big, long runs, long passes. And so, yeah, I think actually this is Coach Dramel King's win. You know, I'm going to take Center Point over Springville.
All right.
I'm gonna go with my old school Springville.
I'm going to go with my old school Center Point.
They're split.
Look at that. House is divided here on Tribune Sports Live. I like it. Makes it interesting. All right. Shades Valley travels to Mountain Brook. I think, honestly, I'm not going to pick the upset here, but I think this is going to be closer than the experts think, as Lee Corso would say. I think Shades Valley's got a lot of fight in them. I think Mountain Brook, I mean, they're you know, that Hoffbauer kid, he's going to be tough to stop.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be a closer game than many people may think. But I do think Mountain Brook gets the win.
Yeah. All right. So kids gather round. We'll talk a little history on this.
Oh, here we go.
So Shades Valley and Mountain Brook have a long history. Mountain Brook actually, before their stadium was built, they had to play their first few games of their season, maybe the entire season, at Shades Valley for their first year. And actually, that stadium is Clay's
Clay Chalkville Stadium.
Stadium. So you have that. Coach Robert Higginbotham, who became the Shades Valley head coach, had great success, took them to 2 state championship games. He won the state championship for Mountain Brook in 1976 before he went to Shades Valley. Now, when I was in school, Mountain Brook was a big rival. Shades Valley had much more success back then over Mountain Brook. Over the last 20 years, Mountain Brook has had the upper hand on Shades Valley. This is going to be a Shades Valley loss because Mountain Brook, with everything that goes into Coach Yeager, everything that he does, I think, as we have said all year long, this is a much improved Shades Valley team. They're just not there yet. And with 39 players, it's just difficult to do. So, yeah, this is going to be a Mountain Brook win, but you can rest assured George Bates Mounties will continue to fight.
Absolutely.
I feel like Shades Valley, they're required to play a lot of young guys because, what they have at their school. So over the next couple of years, I feel like they'll be better. But for this year's matchup, I feel like Mountain Brook got it.
Yeah, I'm in kind of the same boat. Coach Bates, first year there, coached me a little bit. Got moved up when I was in the 8th grade up there at Center Point. But I feel like next couple of years they're gonna get to that point where back to their little standard. But I'm gonna take Mountain Brook on this one.
Good. All right, Hewitt-Trussville hosts Tuscaloosa County, and I think we've talked a good bit about this already. I think this is going to be a big Husky Fast win, and I think it's going to be back to the beginning of the season when they were blowing everybody out.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a heck of a catapult into the playoffs and a deep playoff run, and I think a lot hinges on this game, but I don't think a lot necessarily hinges on the outcome.
Yeah.
I think a lot hinges on the performance.
Yeah.
And I think that the Huskies going to get back to that Husky Fast offense, and I'm going to predict Woogie gets a pick 6 or a scoop and score this week.
He may get time on offense.
I hope so.
Listen, Husky Fast and Woogie. That's all I've got to say. I'm going with Hewitt.
There you go.
I'm going to go with Trussville, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, big win before the playoffs.
I'm gonna take ourselves, man. Hopefully get Zach a little more comfortable. Heading into the playoffs, we all know we need this win. So I'm gonna take us. Go Huskies.
Very good. Very good.
Good deal.
Last but certainly not least, Leeds travels to Pelham. Tough game for Leeds. I really don't know which way to go. I don't know much about Pelham.
Yeah. Got some injuries.
They've got some injuries. I'd like to see Coach Hood's boys. Let me go ahead and pick that game. Let me go ahead and pick Leeds over Pelham.
Yeah.
Leeds over Pelham in this one. I saw them against Moody, and they just impressed me a lot against a really good team like Moody. Even though they lost, I think they're getting playoff ready, and I think they pulled this one off, and maybe that's an upset.
Yeah. I think if you look at it straight up, I'm taking Leeds. Yeah. I think I'm not going against Coach Hood. I think that you're starting to see those younger guys develop, and we talked about Coach Millie with his offensive trickery. He's going to be really creative, and he's doing everything. And look, like we said, you're creative when you have number 99 lining up in the backfield.
Yeah.
So this is a green wave win over the Panthers.
All right.
I don't know much about either teams. Haven't really watched a lot, but I know more about Leeds, so that's what I'm going to go with.
All right.
Gonna be the icebreaker. I'm gonna take Pelham in this one. I'm gonna take Pelham. I know a couple guys over there. I believe in mine. I got my boys. Pelham. I'm take Pelham.
All right.
Good deal.
Well, there's our picks. We've got it done. So
there you go.
So Aaron Fry, Clay Chalkville, Team of the Week.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming in. You did a great job.
Thank you for having
Woogie
me.
Crawford, Ortho Alabama, Spine and Sports Player of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck in your games. Johnny?
Yep.
Closing it out. Week 10 coming up.
Wow.
We're getting close to it. So
Yes, we are.
So, all right, so the last bit of housekeeping is make sure you go out to TrussvilleTribune.com, make your votes for the fan poll, player of the week.
Emphasis on the word fan. This isn't our poll. This is your poll.
That's it. We get ours. We're going to get our pick.
Ours are sitting over there.
Yeah, you make your pick. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Sorry we were late. Technical difficulties sometimes can't be avoided. Thank you guys for being patient with us. And we told Coach Michalke and the guys that came out with him, we were sorry for that too. So, yep. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
It's Friday night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Domsport is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Domsport is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Domsport
We're proud to support our local teams.
and our local families.
So come see us.